Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com, your daily market recap, November 20th, 2023. Like, subscribe, and let's see what SPY and friends brought us today. SPY closed the day at the 0.77 to the upside, almost closed this gap at the 455.49. And as we can see, Fibonacci trend lines are the true support resistance for price action. Look at this trend line where price got rejected today. Look left from support, resistance, support and resistance. Fibonacci trend lines are the true support resistance for price action and more. They are also our roadmap for future price action, closing above this gap, and we are entering this uptrend channel towards the 460 new all-time highs. QQQ, very strong day today, 1.22 to the upside. Now, this trend line was resistance, as you can see over here. Resistance today, price broke up and above it. Next, we are heading towards the 400. All depends on tomorrow NVDA earnings after the close. Let me know in the comments below what do you think about NVIDIA. Let me know in the comments what do you think about the Qs, SPY, and the rest of the market. Can we see new all-time highs on the SPY and the Qs before the end of 2023? Dow Jones finally breaking and closing above the 351 area. This area was a very tough resistance, very important support, broke up finally. Now this trend line, the red one, from support, support, support. Now, by natural things of price action, we can expect with high probability it will become the next resistance when 350 area will become support. IWM 0.6 to the upside, breaking and finally closing above the 178.54. Now let's see continuation towards the 181, 182 if you want. All this area, look left, always look left, to identify previous support and resistance area, and it also will help you to understand why price is where it is now and where price is heading next with the highest probability. 181.85, all this area from resistance, as you can see, support, support, broke to the downside. Now, as we all know, supports become resistance, resistances becomes support, but we are heading towards it. Bitcoin and the daily, nothing much, few consecutive dojis. Basically, Bitcoin is stuck between the 36 and the 38. This trend line is a very tough resistance. If bulls of Bitcoin will give up on this area, this white trend line that keeps rejecting price one time after another, and they will give up. Eventually, they will give up if they will not succeed to break up and above a few days above it. We will see breaking below the 36 towards the 34,600, and then with high probability, if the 34,600 will fail to hold, we will see back below the 30K. Ethereum, inside this short-term downtrend channel, basically gave back all these gains from this candle, November 9th candle. Now, as you can see, struggling to break up and above this channel. Trend lines, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about trend lines. Fibonacci and candlestick analysis on multi-time frames. CL1, crude oil futures, downtrend until proven otherwise. Do not fight the trend. This is why we use trend lines. Trend lines are our roadmap for future price action, and as long as price is inside this channel between these two trend lines, no need to guess where price is heading. It's heading south. And G1 natural gas futures, not surprising. You know all these levels, You know all these trend lines, and here we are, back to the lower trend line of this uptrend channel. Now, this area, the 285, needs to hold. We have talked about these trend lines. We have talked about this possibility that this trend line, we will meet it again, and here we are. Now, this area needs to hold. Otherwise, 267 gap will get filled, and we know that they are no open gaps in futures, and it doesn't matter which futures. It can be the natural gas futures, it can be the crude oil futures, it can be the NQ futures, it can be the SPY futures, the ES1. There are no open gaps on futures, so embrace yourself. SOXX, semiconductors ETF, continues its bullish run towards the 537. Now, this bullish run, it all depends on NVDA. Tomorrow, after the close, NVIDIA earnings coming up. Good reaction, and we shall see SOXX towards the 613 before the end of 2023. 17% more to the upside in 5 weeks or so of trading. Another Tuesday on SOXX. If market reaction for NVIDIA earnings will be positive. Apple, almost 1% to the upside, breaking above the 191 towards the 195 together with this white trend line. Tesla, another day, another inside candle, doji. And as you can see, all this area is a fighting area. Very interesting area of support and resistance. Why? Because we see doji after doji on this area between the 230 and the 247. Bulls are fighting to hold price above the 231 area. If they will lose this fight, this gap, the 225, will get filled, and we will see 221 and 206 to the downside. If they will win, if bears will lose, we will see fifth attempt at this area over here to break up above and maybe finally closing above this very tough resistance zone. Look left. This zone, since July of 2023, very tough resistance for the lower highs. Fifth time will be the charm. Need to wait and see. Google, basically moving sideways between the 133 to the downside, 137 to the upside, long continuation above the 137, and we will see 142, and then this trend line to the upside, massive broadening formation on Google. As you can see, it started over here, July. Since then, massive broadening formation above the 137. We will see the upper border of this broadening formation. If you want to learn more about broadening formation, Fibonacci candlestick analysis, first, before you go and pay for another service, check the Fibonacci Academy playlist. 26 videos on how to become a better trader. Fibonacci Traders Academy playlist. Check it out. Then, if you want to take your trading journey to the highest level, check the links in the description below. And of course, we have the exclusive Black Friday deal, 34% off. And you will gain access to the premium room in Fibonacci Traders Discord. Black Friday, $117 for 3 months. It's less than your morning coffee, $195 per day. You will gain access, daily, weekly insights. You will learn how to master swings and day trading ideas. You will get daily guidance from me and from the community members. You will gain VIP access to me, and all your questions will be answered. Check the link. You go to my Twitter, pin post, check this link. It will give you the 30% off, or check the first comment in this video. And we also have the 6 hours pre-recorded program where you will learn to identify precise entry and exit points. You will boost your gains. You will learn how to analyze trends before they occur. You will not have FOMO. You will learn how to handle your emotions, the psychology behind trading, and you will get lifetime access for support, guidance from me, and all Discord channels will be opened, guaranteed. You have all the links in the description below for English edition, Hebrew edition. Use the code in the checkout. And you have also some feedbacks, as you can see, from previous students and current members. Microsoft with all the mess with OpenAI. 377 is the resistance now. New all-time high. Another new all-time high on Microsoft. Going towards the 391 and then towards this massive resistance. But this is a good resistance. There are such thing as good resistances. Why? Because this area of resistance, these two trend lines, shows us that they are resistance for the higher highs. And we know that higher highs is basically uptrend. Shopify continuing its way towards the 71.43 area, now the 67.60 area from resistance, now will become support, long continuation towards the 71.43, and then weekly close above this area, we will see 83 next. Netflix 1.84 to the upside. And if you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos in the past few weeks or so, we have talked about Netflix is on its way to close this gap. And here we are. This gap is filled. Now, still inside this option channel. And this is a very good example of a good resistance. This trend line over here, this upper trend line, is a resistance. Resistance over here, resistance, resistance, and still resistance. Now, price is trying to break up and above it, but this is a good resistance because it shows us higher highs. And as long as Netflix, as long as price is stuck to this trend line from the below or from the above, it's heading north. Amazon basically moving sideways, as you can see in the past few days or so, almost 2 weeks of sideways move between the 140. Let's clean the chart a little bit. So we will have cleaner point of view of price action. 141 to the downside, 147 to the upside, breaking above the 147, and we will see 156. And not surprising if Santa Rally will arrive. Santa Rally is already here. If you don't know, we will see 168 before the end of this year. Hard to believe, but never say never. Follow price. Use Fibonacci as your guide for future support and resistance. AMD 123 is the next resistance. All this area, look left, all this area, the 122, 123, very tough resistance since January of 2023. Also, if you look back, June of 2023, look back, May of 2023, resistance, broke to the support, broke to the downside, and since then, resistance, all this area, weekly close above it, or another 1-2 days, it's already the end of this week. Reminder, Thursday, market is off, Thanksgiving holiday, breaking up, and we will see 133 to the upside. NVDA. Tomorrow, after the closing bell, earnings coming up. Let's clean the chart a little bit. And as you can see, Fibonacci trend lines. Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support. Now, 4 days back, resistance. Today, broke and closed above this trend line, heading towards the 523. But it all depends on tomorrow's earnings. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Where NVIDIA is heading? 12% to the upside or 12%, maybe 13% to the upside, which will lead us towards this upper trend line at around 580, maybe not tomorrow, but in the next few days, or 13% to the downside, which will take us towards and back, towards backwards, but it's going towards. Never mind. You know what I mean? To this trend line at the 430 area, and then closing the gap at the 425. Maybe not tomorrow, but good reaction, we will see 580. Bad reaction, we will close this gap at the 425. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Where NVIDIA is taking us? NVIDIA earnings? The Santa rally continuation? Depends on NVIDIA earnings, believe it or not. Meta 1.47 to the upside, breaking above the 338. Continuation holding above the 328. 328 was a very tough resistance, and in the past week or so, we are holding above it. Very bullish sentiment on Meta. Let's see, 350, and then towards this white trend line to the upside. If you still didn't saw my top stocks to watch for this week and going into next week, because this week is a short week, check it out. Link should be right now above my head. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, subscribe, stay tuned. Notification bell on. 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We are going live. Until the next video, until the next live. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe.